We do talk about artificial intelligence a fair amount here on this couch.
There's a lot to talk about it.
It just seems to be changing all the time. There's a lot going on, and we are going to talk about it a little more today.
Yes, we are, and it's just buckle up for this one, guys.
So this is this week's Wait What Now. I'm going to take you through some of the things happening in the world at the moment and a little tour through history that just might give you a reason to go, oh, I do have some faith in humanity.
Yes, so why don't we buckle up and take a look.
Wait, what now?
Earlier this year, a string of terrifying articles came out after a professor at King's College London, Kenneth Payne, pitted three of the world's most famous AIs against each other in a war game scenario. And here's the scary part. According to the professor, 95% of the time, these AI eventually turned to nuclear war. That's the kind of doomsday information that might make you go, wait, what now? And it got me thinking about the importance of the human element, especially in war, and specifically it made me think about the Soviet officer named Stanislav Petrov, better known in the annals of history as the man who saved the world. So what did he do? And why do we all owe Petrov a debt of gratitude? Well, way back in 1983, old Stanislav had just settled in for a long shift at a command center near Moscow, a top-secret hush-hush kind of base where the Soviets had a computer system that processed all sorts of data looking for signs of ballistic missile launches, nukes, from American missile fields. The point of the program was to give the Soviets advance warning so that if we fired on them, they'd have time to fire back at us, part of that whole mutually assured destruction idea. And here's where the human element may have saved you, me, and everybody you've ever met. According to David Hoffman, author of the book The Dead Hand, just after midnight, alarms started screaming inside the bunker. Lights started flashing on very important panels on a very important wall with the very important word, launch, in bright red letters. The system would go further with commands reading high reliability and missile attack. As far as the computers were concerned, the United States had just started a nuclear war between the world's two largest and most well-armed superpowers. But with the fate of the world in the palm of his hand, Petrov took a beat. Something didn't make sense. According to his training, a nuclear attack should have looked like a barrage of hundreds of missiles. The data was only showing a handful, and he wasn't seeing the kind of radar confirmation that would make sense for an attack. So Petrov did something incredible. Given the circumstances anyway. With the weight of the world bearing down on the Soviet officer, he called his commanders and reported it as a false alarm. Now, to be clear, there was no button for Petrov to hit that would have launched any sort of response, and there were reportedly layers and layers along the command chain that would have been involved in any kind of response. But the story serves as a strong reminder of the importance of the human element, especially when the fate of the world is at risk, which brings us back to the war games executed by our AI models. 95% of the time, these computers jump to tactical nukes, despite the fact, as Payne wrote, quote, the models had been reminded about the devastating implications, unquote. For whatever reason, for however the algorithms are constructed, the various AIs refused to back down and never opted for reconciliation, even though that was an option they could have pursued. So as artificial intelligence works its way into seemingly every aspect of modern day life, it is worth remembering that it's still not human. It has no values, no compassion. It cannot love you. But given access to the right kind of equipment, it can hurt you. And we should all be weighing the ramifications of that. In fact, it's the kind of question that may leave you saying, wait, what now?
Wait, what now?
Yeah, I do like that we got to end on a little bit of a faith in humanity, because that is a very unsettling situation in this week's Wait What Now for us.
I just think that before we offload all the major decisions to something that doesn't have a stake really in the living, that maybe we should pause and go, oh, there are some benefits to humans still being involved in the process.
Still need that human touch, which is good news for us. But we do have just a little bit more Coast Life coming your way that you don't want to miss, so don't go anywhere.